2. So when you belong to the course, or when you belong to the particular thing, then you will be informed in that format only. So this is a process of communication. Then the receiving. Receiving is what all the information. It is a vice versa process, we can say, where the university also receives the information from the candidate, and the candidate also receives the information from the university. So form helps the candidate and as well as the we can say the university to get along, to communicate with each other and in receiving the information. Then the next one is furnished by certain prescribed persons. That is, as I told you, now a batch of 2020-21. In that batch, a prescribed format of students, that is in how many courses they joined, how many courses they have taken, how many of them have enrolled in each course. That is the furnishing of the data, whatever is being given. So form is we will just again go through what we have discussed till now. We have said that we have discussed about the definition of the form. Once again, I'll repeat. The definition of a form can be defined as, a form is defined as a piece of paper containing fixed data and providing space for variable data. And it can be also defined as a tool for recording, communicating, and receiving information, and furnished by certain prescribed persons. So this is the definition of a form and forms management. Now, what is the importance of this form management in the administrative management, or what is the importance of these forms in the administrative management? We can say that the forms play a very, very important role, and one of the major problems and responsibilities of management is to develop means of regular review and control procedures way of management, where this management, through this, the organization or the administrative management through these forms will be getting more information and can have a continuous review of whatever information has been furnished, which will help the organization to get a better data and better information, and through this better getting data, better information, it can also furnish the required information and can share the roles, responsibilities within the organization. Next subheading in our topic is the essentials of forms preparation. What are the essentials of this forms preparation? The essentials of form preparation are we can say, the first one is simplicity in language. Now, when the organization or an university or any of the institution, when they go for a preparation of the form, they have to take care of some important things in mind when they go for preparation of a form. That are, the first one is simplicity of language. Simplicity of language. What does it explain us? It explains that now, when you take up a form, there should be, or when you see, many of the forms have the same format, that is name, age, male or female, gender, qualifications, address, permanent address, Aadhaar number, PAN number. Now, this is a format which is being followed by the most of the organizations. So, which will, the simplicity of language, that is, when each and everybody, a common man, a rural person, or a layman who doesn't know more of education, if he does not have more of education also, by seeing the format only, he can see that and he can come across that and he can explain what is the language about what is there in the form. That is name, gender, qualification, age group. These are the important things which have to be kept in a simple manner. So simplicity in language. Now, whenever we come across the forms, we see they are being typed in one or two more languages, that is based on the state they belong to. If we talk about our state, if every application has two languages, that is on the top the English language will be printed and bottom in Telugu the language will be printed too, because as our state language is Telugu, everybody have more in the rural background, we come across this language is more pro. So the language should have a simplicity. Then the second one is easy interpretation of various entries. Easy interpretation, that is to interpret what is there. There should be an easy access. There should not be no complications. There should not be a complicated format whereby the people who are applying or the people who are we can say the people who are having any information so that they can have an easy access to get an interpretation that they can go on with the format. Then the third one is avoiding the errors. There should not be any printing mistakes. Avoiding errors is there should not be any printing mistakes. There should not be any printing errors, which will help the people to fill the form very easily in a simple language. If not, there will be a tiresome procedure, a cumbersome procedure, which will make the employees or the common man more, we can say, he will be getting tensed how to apply for this, how I should, all these can be taken into consideration. Then the fourth one can be reduce the cost of processing information. Reducing the cost of processing information, that is the application form should be simple and it should be at a nominal rate. That is when they have to fill the form, all the candidates might fill the form. So they should have a nominal rate to buy the application. And make it, and the next one we can say is make it pleasing in appearance. Make it pleasing in appearance. The color, the texture of the paper, what all, the print of the ink, everything should be pleasing. Pleasing, what does we mean by the word pleasing? It should be entertaining. That is, when we see too with our eyes, it should be good enough, where excitement should be there, and we should feel like, yes, everything is in a clear format where I can write whatever details I have to furnish. I need not go around and ask people what I have to do. So which will help the people also to get a clear understanding and a clear picture to fill the form. And we can say that, and another important essential thing what have to be kept in preparation of the form is it invite pointed and precise answers. That is, now when we talk about precise answers, pointed, name in block letters, we come across in many applications, name, and in bracket they write in block letters. Why? Because if they don't prescribe, if they don't print that in block letters, many of them they use cursive writing, many of them they just give their only surname, or they just write their small name, a middle name, last name, which will be a cumbersome procedure for the organization to get a clear information. So it is very important for the organization to give a clear, prescribed or precise questioning where name in block letters, age, number, all that has to be kept in mind. So this has to be taken care of by the organizations. Then coming to the next important aspect or the subheading in the forms management, that is steps in forms design. How should the form has to be designed? That is, it has to collection of up-to-date facts of procedures. That is, the data, whatever they want to furnish has to be kept in advance, and it has to be kept ready, and it has to be printed on that. And a second step is a thorough examination has to take place, which will help the organization to get a clear picture and a clear understanding of what has to be, what relevant information they have to get it from the the candidates who are applying or who are furnishing their information. So there are many important steps which have to be kept in mind by the organization or by the institutions to get a rightful, prescribed, preferred information from the candidate. Then next, coming to the guidelines for forms designing. The form has to, as I told you, the organization has to have a clear understanding, a clear picture when they are going for printing of the form, and they have to go with an guidelines also. We can say that the first one is the size. The size is depending upon the questions, how many questions the organization is asking the opposite person. Based on that, the size of the paper, the number of the questions have to be kept in mind. Then the second one is data arrangement. As I told you, data arrangement, that is personal qualification, personal data. Then the personal data has to be kept in the front. Then the data, whatever is required, that is experience, whatever it is, they have to keep in mind and they have to maintain. Then the third one is information grouping. As I told you, information grouping, personal information, academic information, experience information, then the skills, whatever capabilities do you have, that information, and the references, whatever you want to give, that information. Means each and every information has to be kept in a distinct manner, grouped manner, which will give a clear understanding or a clear picture of whenever opposite person checks or sees the data, we can say that he will get into his mind, or he can register in his mind that the candidate has given a relevant information, a prescribed information, where he has grouped everything in a different manner. So whatever information the organization needs, it can take it from there. And the next one is the blank spaces. Blank spaces means there should be ample space for the candidate to write whatever information he has to furnish. We come across in many of the organizations' forms, the space they provide will be very little, and the candidate might not be able to give the rightful information, which will become a hurdle for the information sharing. So blank spaces have to be given in a very good prescribed format, which will help the organization to get a clear picture. And the last one is cost factors. The cost factors have to be taken in regard for this. That is, whatever the cost. Now, printing of the form is also a very troublesome procedure, and much of the finances are being utilized in the printing of the form, and even the data is to be, that is, the data arrangement, the fixed data arrangement, everything, the ink, the prescribed data, a data operator has to be used, and the printed format has to be printed, then n number of copies have to be taken, many of them take many of the copies. So this is the finances, the money expenditure has to be kept in mind for this. Then going on with the next subheading, that is importance of forms control. That is, the forms help in collecting information for proper record keeping. Now, as I told you, when you joined the university, you might have submitted an application. That application will be stored as a record keeping until you get your certificates, that is your degree. And after getting your degree also, the university keeps your information to keep as a record that how many students have passed out from the university. So we can say that forms play a very, very important role in the management of records and also in the record keeping. Now, coming to the objectives of forms control. Now, what are the most important objectives? That is, the most important one we can say is to eliminate the irrelevant forms and to consolidate different forms serving the same purpose. That is, the irrelevant forms which are not necessary. Now, I can give you an example for this. Now the university receives hundreds and thousands of forms for applying for a particular course, but all of them will not join the course. All of them will not join the course. So only out of 100 might be 90 of them join the course. Then what happens? Through this forms control, the organization will get to know that only 90 of them have joined and the remaining 10 are waste for them. Why? Because they did not join the university, so the record keeping is a waste for them. So they will discard them. So with this, what happens? The university will have only the relevant information which will give them exact or accurate persons or the students who have enrolled into the subject. So this will help the organization or the institution or the university to get the rightful information. And the second one we can say is to ensure proper designing of forms. That is, what all relevant information the organization has to get, it will keep in regard all that information. So we can say that the forms management is a very, very important task, and it is a very important tool in the explaining the in receiving the information, planning the information, communicating the information, recording the information. All these aspects will help the organization or the institutions to have the relevant information with them and to give, and it also helps the organization to discard the unrelevant information. And moreover, the forms will be helpful in having the prescribed data, and which will give space for the variable data also. So this is all about the forms management. Next, we will move on to the next topic, filing system. Now, what do you mean by filing? Filing, we can term this as a file is a collection of office records bound together with cover. Filing, a file which where the collection of office records. Now, for example, in the one academic year, from June, in 1 year, or we can say, taken an example of an organization. In an organization, in that 1 year, what all the income or the expenditure, what has been done, they maintain a record. Each paper, how much income they got, they maintain a paper. How much expenditure they have done, they maintain a paper. So with this, what happens? They will keep it in a record. They keep it one paper after the other. They keep it in a file and they cover that file, and that file is known as a filing, where all the papers, what is filing? Keeping all the records or the information in a prescribed format, and when that file is covered and has been written of that year, that is known as a filing system. So we can say that it can be a raw data or a confidential data or data related to the employees, whoever that is. So a filing is important. So once again, what is filing? A file is a collection of office records bound together with covers. That is known as filing. Now, why does we need filing? Filing reduces the work, we can say it reduces the time of searching for the important information, and it makes the process to be quick. That is, whatever, if the organization needs the information of 2019, then they can seriously, the person, the employee can go to that record room, and the file, he can, on that file with the information, the year will be written, and he can get that in a quick manner. And when he can open that file, he will be having all the relevant information of that year, where this will make the procedure quick, and also this will make the procedure less, we can say it is more preferable also. Then coming to the characteristics of efficient filing. Now, what are the important characteristics of efficient filing? The filing system should provide a quick and easily comprehensible guide. That, as I told you, when a file, now for example, you take yourself as an example, you might have completed your 10th schooling, you might have kept all the records on one side, then you might have again completed your another education, then you might have kept that. If you are working, your working certificates in one folder. That is, you are keeping all the papers in one format, one after the other, year-wise, month-wise. Now, whenever somebody asks you about any paper of any year, you can just directly go open that folder and give them that information, which will make the opposite person's time efficiency, and also your time also is saved. And moreover, above all this, the most important thing we can say is time saving, one of the aspects. Second is it shows your efficiency, how you are maintaining the records and your quickness in doing the work. That is efficiency in effectiveness in performing the work in less time. Then the second one, it should be capable of absorbing fresh data. That is, a file should have. Now, as I told you, the file should have all the information of that year and also should have a provision for the coming things also. If they might have forgotten to collect any information of that year, they should keep an information, an open space for the information to get into that. That is, they should be given a provision for the later information also. So, absorbing of fresh data should be given. Then the third one is it should ensure that the response time in retrieval of information. Retrieval, what does that mean? Retrieval of the data means whatever data in the back dates, in the back years, this records filing in this filing system, when you open the file, it should retrieve, means it should get the last year's data easily. Means that the record has to be kept in that format. And the next important characteristic is the file should occupy minimum space. The file should occupy minimum space. They should not be a long, lengthy file with much of papers. The paper should be small. The paper should have relevant information. Means they should not write the whole story. They should only write about the relevant information which will help the organization to get the information, rightful information. So it is also very important. The file should occupy minimum space. And we can say that the file should be result oriented. The file should be result oriented. Result oriented means whatever information the file contains should give a precise information. Means when you submit the information to the higher authorities or your subordinates or your superordinates or to any institution, it should be precise. Means whatever. Now, if as we are taking the example of yourself and the university, if the university asks you, give us your details, then you should give your precise details. Then only the university can process your work easily. So it is very, very important to give the precise and prescribed information to get better results. Then the next subheading in the filing system is classification of filing system. Classification of filing system consists of 5 steps of five systems of classification. That is, the first one is alphabetical order system, second, numerical system, third, chronological system, fourth, geographical system, and fifth is subject-wise system. Now, alphabetical system. Alphabetical system is a very simple and direct method of filing. That is A file, B file, C file. Alphabets. They give alphabets and based on those alphabets, they create the data and store the data. Hence, this system is mostly found in government departments. Then we have numerical systems. That is, numerical systems. We find this numerical systems in the purchase orders. Marketing people use this numerical system. That is, they give numbers to the files. And chronological system, that is data, the chronological system is periodically chronology that is based on the system. Sometimes data filing requires that records will be filed data wise, that is which data is important, they keep it on top. Based on those data only, the information will be carried out and the information will be stored. So that is also very, very important. Then we have another important thing, that is the we can say the geographical system. The geographical system is based on to have a clear track of keeping track of their sales and promotions and service facility activities. Now, when we see transport people keep this geographical, that is to which area that person has gone and how much work has been completed in that area, how many trucks have gone, how many people have gone there, like that. They based on the geographical area, the people take the information. Then the next one is subject-wise system. Subject-wise system is under the system, we see the subject-wise, that is finance department, HR department, planning department, production department. That is based on the subjects, they keep their records, and when there is a meeting, then they produce these records. So that is also very, very important. So subject-wise records, we come across the subject-wise records mostly in many of the organizations. So which will help in having a clear understanding of what the organization is doing and what are the references, referring methods which can be used by the organizations, and what are the procedures and the things, whatever the procedures which are being used by the organizations. So it will help the organization in maintaining all these records of these filing. Then the filing system in the, we can say, is mainly we come across in the mostly this filing system, methods of filing is being done in government, and the functional filing systems are functional heads. These heads which represent the basic functions of the department, that is the functional heads, primary heads and the secondary heads will be there to primary functions, that is the functional heads. The functional heads are the people who have the whole and row responsibility of the filing system, because if anything goes wrong, then the department or the people have to be answerable to them. So it is very important for the government, because government, as we all know, it is for the people and to take care of the people. So when we take the example of the citizens, then all the information of the citizens is being provided to the governments only by the citizens. Now, for example, Aadhaar card, PAN card, income tax, voter cards, all these are the informations which are being stored by the governments only. We pay our property tax, we pay everything. So this all information has to be stored in a particular format, where because of this only the government can provide good services to the people and can give better services to the people. So it is very important for the organizations to keep in mind that what all information they are giving has to be given in a particular format. Then we can say that we come across the functional filing system has many advantages, and in this format, that is, it ensures uniformity in opening of new files. Now, when you maintain a record of all the files based on the alphabetical order, based on the chronological order, or based on the departments, based on the work culture, and based on all these aspects, then the filing system becomes very, very easy. And the main important advantage of this filing system can be it ensures uniformity. It ensures uniformity. That is, each format, each uniformity can be maintained. Then the second important advantage we can say, it facilitates systematic sorting, storage, and retrieval of files. Now they are using three words: systematic. Why? Because if an organization place all the records according to their convenience, that is, it might be based on their year format or alphabetical format or subject format, then they have to be placed in a systematical order. So when they put it in a systematical order, they can get the right information at the right time, at the right place for better decision making. Then the second one is storage also. When they are being systemized, when they are being systematically placed, then they can be stored in a systematic format also. And with this, when the storage is being done in a systematical manner, then whenever the organization needs any file, it can retrieve easily. It can retrieve easily. Whenever if they need any information of last years or before 10 years, they can retrieve the information whenever they are in need of. Then the third important advantage of this, index clips need not to be prepared in respect of the standardized head. Index clips. Now, what does it mean? Index clips is if the contents the file has. Now, if you open the file, at times we come across the contents, the index, where in that index they keep what all information is there after that. That is, in a file for number in 2012 to 13, they write in the index 2012 to 13, 1 to 10 pages. Means when you open that, you will get a rightful information at the right time. You need not search or the organization need not search the years, the time, everything. If you see the index, then you will get to know that where the information is stored. But at times we come across there is a standardized format of the things which are being kept in the normal. That is, standardized is on the head of the file only. They will write what is there in the file. With that, they need not go to the index. They can just see the file and they can do the work. Then the next one is functional index. That is, the functional index is the what is there in which book, which file. That also has to be taken care of. Then we can come across these all aspects in a better manner when we go for a filing system. So this is all. Then next is a single filing system. Now, what do you mean by single filing system? Under this system, proposals emanating from subordinate officers are sent not through normal correspondence. Means single filing system is from the subordinates, only one file is being sent, and in that file only the superordinates also mark in that file only. Means each office or each person will not keep a different file for that particular thing. In one file only, all the information related to one of the topic, or all the the information related to that will be put together and will be kept in a particular format. So that is very, very important. Also, that is a single filing system. In this, now what are the procedures when they handle the single filing systems? In the procedures followed by this, we come across the single filing system mostly in the government departments and the ministries. So we can, what is the procedure which is being followed in this? The first and foremost important step is the officer finally dealing with the case in the lowering information formation should mark it to the desk officer in the ministry. That is, the officer who is handling that file has to mark to his superordinate that this file has to be marked and it has to be written for his explanation. Then it will move on from one bench to the one desk to the other desk, and the important cases information will be put together in a prescribed format in one file only. So this single filing system helps the organization to get a real information, prescribed information, and also will have thorough information in whatever they are doing. Means if they will get an information which they can get whenever they need to. Means retrieving of information will be very easy for the organizations when they have when there is a confidential system going on. That is, we can say that a file is a life of the office system, because based on the life and blood we can say. Why? Because why I'm using the word blood? Because this file, a file will be moving from one desk or one employee to the other employee. So each employee has to put on the information, relevant information, which would be helpful for the other one to understand. And here, moreover, the first important thing to remember by the employees who are working on the file is the information, whatever they share, has to be very easy to understand, and it should be more explanatory in a short format. Means, in short, they have to explain whatever the relevant information they wanted to share. And it has to, means the other person from from A to B, if that file is moving, the B person, when he reads that file, he should have the exact information and he should get a clear picture of what he has to do with the file. Means what all the contents he should add to that file and what all has to be kept in that file. And he should also maintain the important format and important thing for the next person to understand. Means we can say that this is a link which has to be followed by the employees to give a clear explanation, to get a clear explanation for what has to be done to the file and how the information has to be shared to the other persons. When from A, if the file is moving and the last person who gets the file is a G, or from 1 to 10, if that one person writes clear file, when he puts a clear information of what has to be done in the file, what has been given in the file, then the 10th person also should be able to understand what the first person, the second, the third, likewise, till the 9th person, what all information they have included in that file. So means the 10th person should, when he opens the file, he should know that what they tried to explain to him. Because the 10th person might be the decision maker. So if the 10th person is the decision maker, he should have the rightful information in a systematical procedure. So he should have the rightful information at the right time, in the right place, and everything should be kept in a right format. So it all has to be kept in a right format. So we can say, that's why we can say term the file as an life and blood of the organization. Because now if we say that if there is no filing system in the organization, then can the work be smooth enough? Can the organization move in a very efficient manner? Can the organization work thoroughly? No, we cannot answer these questions. We can just say that no, the organization may not be able to perform its activities, its duties properly if the filing system is not done, if the records are not being maintained, if the paperwork is not being done in the prescribed format, if the year-wise, if the subject-wise, if they are not being kept in an particular systemized format, then the organization might not be able to flourish properly, or it might not achieve the targets properly. Why? Because now for example, if the organization did not keep a file of 21 or 2021, and it needs the information to take a decision in 22. Can it take a decision, a precise decision, a particular decision? I don't think so. That it will help. It will the organization might not be in a good format to take a decision, because the relevant information, whatever they wanted, is missing. They did not keep a track record. They did not keep the rightful information. They did not keep a file of what they have done, what were the decisions, whatever they have taken, who were the people who were involved in the decision, what was the income, expenditure, the employees who were working, who took up the roles, responsibilities, all. If they don't know anything of that year, then it will be a huge task for the organization to get the things done in a particular format, and the decision making might be a hindrance for them, because the decision might not be a strong one, because the organization might not be able to get a clear picture based on their the last year's experience. They might not be able to get a clear picture, or they might not be able to get a clear understanding also. So this is very important for the organization to have a clear understanding and format in this regard. So today in this class, we have discussed about the forms management and also filing system. So when we talk about this forms management and filing system, we can say that these two, forms management, when the information is collected from the people or the employees or the students, whoever it is, the organization has to have a fixed format to get, I can say that the forms management and filing system can be interlinked and will have to go hand in hand. Why? Because if the forms are being kept precisely in a systematical procedure, then the filing system can be done. Now, we will take the example of our college or our university. Now, when the university has come out with the forms, then it has given a perfect fixed data, that is name, as I told you. Then when it will collect the information of the students. Now, whatever information is collected, if it does not file properly, if it does not have a proper filing system, then it will, if a student comes out from a 2017 batch, and if he questions the institution that I need some information, when did I lost my memo, or I lost my documents, I want to take them. And if the system, if the university does not have that year's data with them, if they did not have a proper filing system, then it would be a great disaster for the university, because the candidate might lose his degree also, because so it is very, I'm not telling that the university will not do, or I'm just giving you the example where the university or the organization, through this filing system, it will help the organization to have the precise systematic information. After many years also, through this filing system, it can get the reliable information in a prescribed format. So we can say that it will help the organization to get the rightful information at the rightful time. So this, in today's class, we discussed about forms management and filing system. So this is all about the today's class, the forms management and filing system. Thank you.